Hey you, do you like AI and voice AI? If you said yes, then this video is going to be for you. I'm going to show you the blueprint for how we use Retell AI, Highlevel, and Make.com to build an amazing voice AI system that my students and I put together and sell to businesses for up to $5,000. This is going to be a super technical video, so slow it down, watch every bit to it so you don't miss anything, and at the end I'll show you how to get this amazing Make blueprint. So let's get into this and I'll show you and start with an example. Okay, let's just look here. So just proof of this, there's nothing in here in the calendar booked in at all for Friday. So let me go through this and you'll see how it works. So don't worry too much about the prompt, just a basic prompt in here. But what I want to show you is the proof of concept. So, hello.
Hello, I can help you with a booking. May I have your name, please?
Yes, my name is David.
Thank you, David. Could you please provide your email address so I can send you the scheduling link?
It's david@gmail.com.
Got it, David. When would you like to book?
Tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Let me make the booking for you. Your booking is confirmed for tomorrow at 2 p.m., David. Let me know if there's anything else I can assist you with.
No, thank you. So there we have a booking for David. So now let's say Mark wants to book at the same time. Hello.
Hello, I can help you with a booking. May I have your name, please?
It is Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Could you please provide your email address so I can send you the scheduling link?
It's mark@gmail.com.
It seems like there might be a small typo in your email address. Could you confirm if it's mark@gmail.com or provide the correct email address?
No, that email address is correct.
Thank you for confirming, Mark. When would you like to book?
Tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Let me make the booking for you. It seems that the slot tomorrow at 2 p.m. is not available. Would you like to book for tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. instead?
Can I get tomorrow at 1:30 p.m.?
Let me make the booking for you. Your booking is confirmed for tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. mock.
Alright, there you go. So if we come back in here, come in here again, you'll see the two booking links in here, and obviously the accent didn't go too well with that, but that's alright. So that's how it works in essence, and this is the scenario you need. And before we go into all of this and how to set it all up, let me just quickly talk to you about the problems and how and why you need this. So any kind of voice AI system, doesn't matter if it's high level or if it might be anything else in here, when you use a booking system and a calendar system, you're always going to run into certain problems. That's why it's so hard for the booking to actually happen, and there's so very few of these systems out and about, especially when it comes into high level. So the problems that you usually run into, and I'll just come zooming in into here, is that especially with high level, but the same applies to other calendars, is that to book a call in high level and to book someone in the calendar, you need to create an actual contact. So all these people in here, let's come back and open this one. Everyone in here that just booked in is an actual contact that was created with their email address. Okay, so come to David, and it's an actual high level contact that gets created before you go and make a calendar booking. Else the calendar booking is just going to be part of test, and test is not going to bring up anything, or guest at least. And you can see obviously this doesn't exist, so high level is smart enough for that, but you have a contact saved with David. Now if you try to create another booking for David again and you don't make a check automation to see if this contact exists, it's going to fail because it can't just create another contact called David because David's already in here. So that's the first problem you have to deal with and figure out how to get through is double contacts, and creating those contacts to actually book into the calendar. So the second problem you have to deal with is the time selection. So normally people won't say, I want to book for the 23rd of December 2025 at this and this time. Usually they'll say tomorrow, next week. And how does the system know how to work those out? So if I would tell you now, that I want to do a booking for tomorrow at 2 p.m., how is it going to know that tomorrow is the 7th of the 3rd and the booking slot's going to be for 2 p.m.? So there's a big time workout thing that we have to deal with and consider. And then obviously the third part is the booking situation or the availability, where if it tries to book and that slot is not available, that it actually goes out and redo it, give you a different timing for it. So that's where make.com comes in, and that's where this automation comes in. So just do keep in mind that this automation is not designed to check times first, so you're going to have to build out a different function if you feel like your users want to say things like, do you have any slots available for tomorrow at 2 p.m. Then it would rather just run one automation by itself, but it doesn't work just with this automation. It's just something extra you're going to have to build. So let's go through the different processes, because we're going to have to look at high level, we're going to have to look at Retell Ai, and we're going to have to look at make.com. So let's go first to Retell. So we're going to come to Retell Ai, and I've not gone into setting up the prompt. It's not a very specialized prompt. It's not a lot of customizing for it. All I wanted to do is get a name, get an email address, and get a booking time. So it's all I've put in here. It's not an advanced function, not an advanced bot. Plenty of other things out there for it. I just wanted to talk and ask those questions, and that's just what I set in here. Step one, ask for a name, then ask for an email address, then go and get a booking time. And once you're done with that, run the high-level booking function. Now, the high-level booking function is a specific function that I've built out in here. So I'm going to come to functions, and you can add a new function. I'm just going to come in here and edit this one and show to you. So obviously the name is there, and there is the Go Highlevel booking function. I've given it a bit of description, and we'll get to this part soon, your URL for your webhook, and this comes from make.com that we're going to get later on. I'll show you how to get that, so you can leave that blank from now if you want to recreate it or not. So that's just to send the data to a webhook and make. So what sort of data do we want to send? And it's formatted in JSON format. So there's really good ChatGPT options for this. Let me bring one up. So if you go to chatgpt.com, you go to explore, and you search up Retell AI, and it should bring up the JSON call formatter. And it's a really good GPT to use if you want to start figuring out how to bring up actual prompts in JSON formats like this. So all it says is we need to create objects, and the GPT needs to extract information and assign them to those objects in variables. So you can just see it's a bit self-explanatory, but the object we're going to create is the name of the caller, and we're going to give it the name caller name. So you don't have to understand much of this. It's just going to be a quick summary, but we're going to create a variable called caller name. We're going to create a it's going to need to extract the name of the caller because we're going to ask for it. Then we're going to do the same with the email. We want the caller's email. It's going to be assigned to this variable, and the full email address of that provided. Okay, so what's this? It's going to be this. And then the same with booking time. So that variable is getting sent out this detail. So what is the booking time that the caller gives? So all this really does is just tells the GPT or the large language module to extract a name and assign it to caller name, extract an email address and assign it to the email address, and then extract a booking time and assign it to the booking time in here. And what it looks like in make.com once you run this is going to look like this. Let me just bring that one back up again. Where's my make module? Here we go. So we'll just quickly go through this so you can understand this. So this is going to be your webhook, and this is the webbook URL that we got that we had to put in here. So that's your webhook URL. It's going to come through in here, and once you run this and it waits, that data that we just asked the JSON format to send to us comes in through in the bundle in here. So make.com, I'm not going to give you a big tutorial on it. Just go to make.com, register it for free, and you can either import this. I'll show you how you can get this at the end, or you can build it out from scratch. It's going to be a lot harder. But make.com just receives a bunch of data, and then we're going to do some things with that data, and it's all through here. So it's going to come through here. Open this, and you'll see in here the bundle that we receive is all the data we receive from Retell Ai in that function call called Go Highlevel Booking Bot. And you receive a bunch of extra data that you don't need to worry about. You can see the transcript up to then and there, so everything that's happened up to then and there if you need to edit it. But what we want to look at is the arguments in here. So what we get is the Go Highlevel Booking Bot booking function, and we get the caller name, the caller email, and the booking time. So see how it's formatted like this? This is very, very important. If you're going to copy this the same, it needs to be the same, else the webhook won't match these in at all. So just come back here for a second. You can see that this is the way I named it. So this is really important. Have those names set up the same. All right, so let me quickly go through the automation, and it's just going to be a bit of a summary so you can understand. So remember how I said we first need to check and see if the actual person is in Highlevel or not. If they're not a contact in Highlevel, we need to create them. So the first tool in here is just a Highlevel contact search. So it's just called contact search, and you can see when we come in here, all it's going to do is take our email address that we find from the webhook. So you come in here, is the email address that we have from before from here. That's why I say if you're going to download this, this needs to be the same, else you need to drag and drop it and remap it. And we're just going to search for contacts in here. Now, once it searches for a contact, it's either going to find a contact in here, and every contact in Highlevel has what's called a contact ID. So if we're going to search this for Mark 1234 rather than Mark, then it's not going to find Mark and it's not going to find a contact ID. So that means it needs to create the user. So this is what the router function comes up, and all it says is we're going to look at where to route it in what cases. So let's move these along. You can see there's these little filters in here, and all this says in the filter, if a contact ID exists, what should it do? And if a contact ID does not exist, what should it do? Okay, so just the first step in here, if a contact ID does not exist, we're going to go out and we're going to create a new contact. So come in here, we are going to go to Highlevel, it's a create a new contact module. We are going to create a new contact with that email address, again, that we find from the webhook all the way over here. So contact ID and email address, we're all going to put it in here and here. And then we're going to create a new Highlevel contact in here. Easy, right? So now we know that this person in here is an actual contact. So now we're going to go and do the rest of it. So just this part is obviously skipped in here and here, but that's the difference. Creating a contact, not creating a contact. So I'm not going to go through all these again, but we'll just follow this route in here for a second. So what happened in here is the last call here that we copied, and all it does is actually copies and creates, because Mark already existed, we're going to go through here and then it's going to book a time because Mark actually has a time. So remember how I said in the previous part in here that, so we've come to a conclusion in here that we actually can create contacts with or check for contacts at least with our make scenario. And the next part is going to be trying to figure out that timing. Okay, so this is a real important part. So how do we know what time is now or what time is tomorrow? We're going to click in here, and this is a long GPT prompt. You're going to have to write it out or get this automation in here. We obviously need to register for ChatGPT. I like to use for more complex cases than this, GPT 4.0, but this is the system prompt that's been copied for a long time. And the reason it's like this is, number one, we need to determine what the time in the future is. If you say tomorrow at 2 p.m., what is it going to be? And secondly, we need to also determine how to rewrite it in a specific format that high level likes. So real iffy for it, but all you need to do is this actual prompt, and it just says you're going to have a prompt in the time. Your prompt receives a date and future in the time, and you need to reformat that to a proper time in this format. So all these formats have got different names, ISO, and this pretty much comes from the high level documentation that this is the time that it needs to be written in. So you have the year, the month, the date, and then the time in normal format, AM, PM, 24-hour format. So if I say tomorrow is 2 p.m., it needs to figure out what the date is tomorrow, and it needs to rewrite it in this time. And this is in summary what this entire prompt does. So it says the time here is now, which actually is a high level make.com function. You're going to receive the time, and you need to write it out in the appropriate time zone, or in the appropriate time. Never gave a date in the past. All right, so all it does then is we feed the booking time that we got from this module into this. So see how it's red, that means it's mapped. If it's not mapped, it will be light or grayed out. So what it does with this is it came in, we said we want to book at 1:30 p.m. So it's checked and see that Mark is a contact, so it's send it Mark up here. Then it's formatted the time and said that tomorrow's time is actually going to be, we come in here, so it's the input that we come in. So the user input is going to be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. So tomorrow here is going to be the 25th of the 3rd of the 7th. So today's the 6th here where I'm doing it. So tomorrow will be the 7th of the 3rd. And the time PM is going to be 30 p.m. And that's how it's formatted it. So this is the result we're looking for. All right. So now we're going to take this result and we're going to try book it into high level. So let me quickly jump into high level before we go further on with this automation in here, because this gets a little bit hard and flaky. So what you need to do is you need to come into your high level. We need to come to settings. And number one, what you need to do is you need to make sure your time zone, all time zones need to be the same. So write this down, get a bit of notepad open, and you're going to need to write down Pacific/Auckland in that exact format there, and you're going to need to remember plus 1300. So if this was anything else, if we had scroll down US Central Time, you would write down US capital S / Central capital C, and you'll also write down important minus 0600. Okay, you need to have this in the same time zone. You need to remember this time as well. Then as well, your staff member needs to be in the same time zone. So I'm not going to show you how to create staff members. I'm not going to show you how to create calendars, but you need to remember that your staff member needs to be in the same time zone as well. So where do I find that settings? No. User availability, in here. Okay, so everything's in the same time zone. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create access to Highlevel, and we do that by scrolling down, come into private integrations. You're going to create a new integration, and we're going to call this Retell Tester. Anything you want to be in here, doesn't matter. We're going to create next, and we're going to select everything that says calendar. So we're going to click that. So everything with calendars, view calendars, edit calendars, calendar groups. So anything that has calendar to it, we've ticked. Then we're going to go create, and you're going to copy this key somewhere safe. So hit the copy button, close that, and you're going to copy that key. That's your access token key. Very important. You need to keep that somewhere safe. Don't share it. I'll delete my ones here. In fact, I'll just go hit rotate and continue. We're going to use that one soon. So first you need to copy and paste that somewhere. Then you're going to come to your business profile, and you're going to copy and paste your location ID. It's got an easy copy mark there. You're going to copy that and keep that safe somewhere. And then you're going to come to your calendars. Whichever calendar you have set up, you're going to come and copy and paste and save that one somewhere as well. So you're going to have the time saved, you're going to have the calendar saved, and you are going to have the location ID all saved. So let's make back. So we know that we now have a user, and we've created this user. Now we're going to go through and create a booking. So we're going to come in here. We're going to come for, in this time zone, we're going to create a new HTTP request. If you do it from scratch, it's a make basic authentication request, the basic one, not the version 2 one. So I'll show you what that looks inside. So this all comes from the Highlevel API documentation, but you need to make a post request to this actual URL. So remember that one, write it down, or if you're going to use this module, you can copy and paste this module. It's going to be a post request. You need to have the version in here. You need to have that random time in there, and your authorization is going to happen with a bearer token. So you keep the word bearer in here, and you can't have anything misspelled in any of this. The case, the spelling, and all needs to be in here properly. So bearer in here, and you're going to put your authentication token that we copied earlier on from Highlevel. So remember, we came here, we came to integrations. No, sorry, private integrations, and we've added it in here. Okay, remember this one we got. You are going to get that one, and you're going to paste your bearer token in here. So we come down, now we're going to send it some data. We're going to start by creating your JSON file. So again, JSON format that we're going to send back. Technically, we sent, like the way we received the webhook, we are going to now send webhook data, and that webhook data is going to be in this format. Calendar ID in between those two quotation marks, and it's going to be the calendar ID that you copied, the location ID that you copied, and then important, the contact ID that we found by either, it's coming back here, searching for that contact ID, because we searched for one and we got a result of that contact ID. Or if you're going to be down here, you would have created a new contact, and that contact would have given you a contact ID from this module. See when I hover on it, how this glows? See in there, so it comes from here. So important parts. This needs to be correct. Everything in here, spelling needs to be correct. Authorization, your bearer token needs to be correct in here. And this needs to be 100% correct, including the new lines, including the spacing out here. All needs to be correct. So we have our calendar ID, we have our location ID, then we're going to take that contact that we have, contact ID, and we're going to try and make a booking for the time that we had, that the ChatGPT module got for us, and we're going to make sure that tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. is going to be in plus 13 New Zealand Standard Time. All right, else it's not going to book it in right. So this is manually creating a booking. So on this location, which is my sub account, on this calendar that we have in the sub account, take this contact ID from that sub account, book it in for this time. And that's how it does this booking. Okay, and you can see as soon as you try book this, it's going to come back with one of three results. It's going to say authentication bad. It's going to have like a 400 or a 401. That means you have something filled in here wrong and it's not authenticating. Or number two, it's going to show again 401 or 400 because it can't book it in because there's going to be a booking already in here, kind of like we did in the first place. Or it's going to give a status 200, okay, you've booked in. And that's again, we're going to build out a filter depending on the codes. So see in here, we have a router, we have a filter. So all it says that if the status code that we receive from here, so come in here, status code 201, hey, it's worked, it's booked, okay? So if we receive a status code 201, it's going to come down this side. So it's going to come down in this side and it's going to say, hey, your meeting is booked for this and this time. Okay? So it's going to send this data back saying, hey, it's booked, back to Vappy. Vappy can say to you, hey, it's booked. So that's problem one and problem two solved. Okay? And again, this here is just a plain copy of this in here. It just has the extra step just because we want that contact ID. Okay, so I hope that part made sense. The second part to it is what happens if we can't book in here. So let me quickly do this. We're going to run this and then we're going to come back to retail. So let me quickly go see if this is still in here. That's still in there. So let me put this to the side, this to the side. So again, it should come up this path and we'll see that we'll be booked in here. So, hello.
Hello. I can help you with a booking. May I have your name, please?
Peter.
Thank you, Data. Could you please provide your email address so I can send you the scheduling link?
My email address is 123@gmail.com.
Got it, Data. Now, when would you like to book?
Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m.
Let me make the booking for you. It seems the slot tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. is not available. Would you like to book for tomorrow at 1 p.m. or tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. instead?
Can I try tomorrow at 2 p.m.?
Let me make the booking for you. Unfortunately, the slot tomorrow at 2 p.m. is not available either.
All right, I just wanted to show you that. So obviously, so it didn't have data because I said Peter, but it came up with data. But anyway, it created a contact. See how initially it created a contact and it came down his way. But that's right. Now we have a contact in here called data. It has a contact ID. We said that we want to book for the. We want to book for tomorrow at 2 p.m. and it's come through here. It's formatted the time. It's formatted the time to the 7th of the 3rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. Then it's run this module, said in this calendar and contact, connect and authorize of this. Then try and make a booking in this location, this calendar for data at 2 p.m. New Zealand time. And it's come through here and it's given an error. Sorry. It's given status code 400 saying, hey, the slot you've selected is no longer available. So that's where our little filter in here is going to happen. So come in here. So it doesn't have 201, but it's got status code 400. status code 400 means, hey, we need to rebook things. So this is where it might get a bit confusing for you if you are just going to straight import it. But all it's going to say is look at this time and then try and make a booking for before and after the time. It's a long-winded prompt, and all it says is we're going to come through here and we're pretty much converting everything to thousandths of a second. Okay, so you don't need to worry too much about this. You're just going to have to copy and paste this over, but our actual tool's name is start time. The variable format is going to be format data, and like exactly like this. You can't have this any other way. Okay, so it's a formatting tool, variable name and end time. So it's going to format it to 1/100th of a thousandths of a second, pretty much. It comes through. Okay, so don't worry about this. It's just going to have a total end time, total start time for a full time and day. Okay, so it gets a bit confusing. Don't need to worry about this, but it's going to give us a start time for a day and an end time of a day. Then we're going to take that start time and end time, and we're going to come and make another HTTP request. And this is what it's going to be. We're going to go to your publicly available link for the calendar. So you need to come and put your calendar link in here. We're going to look for free slots in the time zone. Oopsie. Need to cancel that. We're going to look for free slots in the time zone of Pacific Auckland time. So you need to have this exactly written out like this. You need to have your calendar ID in here, and we're just going to look for any free slots pretty much starting the start of the day and the end of the day through it. Okay, so that's all it does. We're going to connect in there, but we also, before we connect, we obviously need to have an actual connection token. It's going to come in here. It's going to authorize it. Remember, we had that one in here. And all this module does is just gets the available times for that day. And you can see in here that the bundle it actually received is the data, is like a bunch of data in here for the day. So we're finding a bunch of available times. So there's 1 o'clock, 1:11, see, plus 13. So it comes up with all these free times in your high level calendar for it. And then we're just going to paraphrase it back in here. And all this does is ChatGPT looks at all the available times. So we're going to say, like, here's a list of available times. This is an unavailable time because we now know that the time that the person gave us is not available. Here's a list of available times. Give us some dates for that. And that's all this good old prompt here does, is it says you receive some data. You need to come up with 2 times, a before time and an after time. Here's an example of the input, not available slots, available slots. Example output what we should give. Unfortunately, the time slot tomorrow 2 p.m. is not available. However, these times are available. If you receive a string of the time res, it means that there's no slots available at all. So it just means if we received a blank, you just say that there's no slots available. Just a bunch of examples, and then we give it a massive argument of not available time slots that we had previously. Is that time, just give us a new date for it according to your data in here. All right, so a long-winded way of formatting your time, editing it and looking it up in the calendar, and then once we get available dates, we compare the available dates to the unavailable time that we just said, and then we give a result saying, hey, unfortunately tomorrow 2 p.m. is not available. I'll give you a time after, because we have 1:30 as well. So we have a time after, which is 2:30, and a time before, which is 1 p.m. And that's pretty much it. That's the massive good old module in here to work out. So all these are just a repeat of whatever is down here. So we receive the data, we check for a contact. If there's no contact, we're going to create a contact. We're going to create the time. We're going to try and make the booking of the time. If the booking exists already, we're going to go through and try to give a new time through this way. If a booking does not exist, we're going to schedule it in for them. And then it's just the same, obviously the opposite, the one that we've gone through. We are going to get a name, create your contact in Highlevel, because we need that contact ID. We need this contact ID in here to process all that out and through back into here. So I really hope all this made sense. There's a lot of data and programming that goes into it. It can be complicated, but all you have to do is just save, copy, import, and export this, and it really makes it a good flow, really good working flow as well. So it works really well. It's really good to sell on. The only other thing you need to build out yourself is just a check availability time, and it's kind of just building out a little time slot of just this in here. So just one extra row. So all you need is the receiving a webhook, and then you don't even need that. You just need to do this part in here. Okay, so you can almost just link this into here, and that will work if you're going to do a check availability time as well. So hope that all made sense. You have a bunch of things that needs to be fixed when we're going to come into an actual booking, and it kind of happens with just about any booking things, but the fact that you can book into Highlevel is just absolutely very, very important, because from there your contact us in Highlevel, you can send Highlevel will do the automations for the calendar, so you don't have to worry about that. You will receive the booking links, you will receive the reminders in there. If they want to cancel, they get an email about that for cancelling in there. And once it's in Highlevel, once it's in your CRM, you can do a bunch of data, again, edit with it, send promotions, and it's just really great. You need to have your data in a CRM of sorts as well. Highlevel, just super powerful. So now, how do you get this awesome workflow from here? Now, I'll come in here, bring this open in here. I have this awesome little school community in here. It's more of a mentorship, so the numbers are going to stay small. And in the classroom, I have a bunch of walkthrough training videos in here. So not only that, if you join up, you actually get a bunch of extra and high value tools to use. So you're going to get Highlevel sub accounts, you're going to get SMS tool, you're going to get in cold email tools, you're going to get niches, you're going to get a massive great snapshot to use. So the extras is really good when you come and look at that about, but just in the classroom, it's actually the learnings and configurations. It's really good and makes it such great and high value, because it's not just an out of the box system, so it's a specifically set up system that you sell, and it's extra value for it because not a lot of people have it. I'm really good at selling Highlevel and voice AI systems at the moment, but so is a lot of people, because it's just a couple of clicks and you can sell voice AI and Highlevel. But if you want to go to more advanced systems like VAPI, Synflow, and Retell, I've got all the courses in here and all these automations in there for you to build out and go through. And to make a good offer with voice AI, we also want to combine things like chatbots, email systems, and yeah, then how are we going to scrape and get leads for you? So lots of things to learn from, to set up your own unique offer, and like many of our other students, become and start living a laptop lifestyle. That's what I call it, a laptop lifestyle in here. And I try to give you all the tools, as much tools as I can, some great videos to watch. So if you like this sort of thing, if you want this specifically, I'm going to directly download it, add it right there in there. That's how you do it, that's how you set it up. I kind of talked as well into about Retell Ai. This is just a basic prompt, but I've made some great R1 prompts as well. So just lots of information that you can actually take and sell as a product. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching this video.